Hello everyone, I'm Dead Knight. This is In It to Win It. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Get updates on my channel. See the videos I'm putting out about new card releases, about decks I'm hitting Legend with, and interesting decks in the format. But today we're going to be talking about Alterac Valley. Fractured and Alterac Valley is the new Hearthstone set that's come out for the Year of the Griffin. I'm going through every class and talking about what I think is the best, worst, and most interesting card in the set for each class, and today we are on Warlock. Warlock has gotten a lot of love and a lot of balancing this year. So obviously the quest line, the Demon Seed was banned in Wild because it was just so oppressive. It's really oppressive in Standard as well. Tons of cards have been adjusted or nerfed or changed in some way. It's gone through a lot of different iterations, not just Demon Seed, but we've also have all these great hand buff cards that came out in the last expansion for Big Warlock. That means that in Wild, even Warlock is a tier 1 deck again. We've got tons of support for cheap minions. Last season in Wild, I hit Legend with Cute Warlock or Zero Warlock, and these swarm style Warlock decks are viable in Standard right now. They haven't gotten a lot of experimentation because Demon Seed is so good, but Warlock can really go in any direction. It's been really well designed, I think. And when we look at the cards that are coming out in Fractured and Alterac Valley, there's just tons of potential here for a lot of different decks, new archetypes, supports for the current one, and it's a really exciting time to be a Warlock. So I think the best card in this set for Warlocks has to be the new hero, Dreadlich Tamsin. So, well, we thought from the United and Stormwind storylines that Tamsin was dead. She's back, she's a lich, and she looks really oppressive. So for 6 mana, you get the 5 armor. You deal 3 damage to all minions. You draw 3 cards, and then you also shuffle 3 rifts into your deck that spawn 3/3 demons when they're drawn. So that by itself is pretty bananas. For 6 mana, draw 3. You're already looking at Nourish, right? But then you also gain 5 mana, and you clear the board, and you get these minions that spawn when you draw them. So there's like what you're getting for your mana. It does all the things for you. You know, it you look it's like a more finely better tuned ultimate infestation because it's cheaper. It deals damage to the whole board, and you gain the armor, and you draw the cards, and you set up the potential for the future. And then your hero power just becomes 2 mana, draw a card. Oh, but also you get another one of those 3/3 demons shuffled into your deck that casts when drawn. So you're no longer losing life to draw cards. You're fishing out those free board presence. So it's just totally crazy. Uh, you know, People look at this card as just full on eye popping, and you think, how can you print something that does this much for you in so many different places? So that's the story of Warlock. I think just because it's not killing your opponent when you play it, it's probably going to be safe from nerfs. And because those minions that get summoned don't have rush, your opponent still has a chance to respond. But it's just such a great way to set up because it helps you in just about every aspect of the game. So for 6 mana, that's a really good deal. As far as the worst card, which is not doing any of these things for you, is Felfire in the Hole. So Fel is probably the least loved spell school. There's not that many Fel spells, but we got another one, and honestly, it's not that great. So for 5 mana, it's going to deal 2 damage to all enemies. It draws you a card, and if that card that it draws is a Fel spell, then it's going to deal an additional damage. So, if every single time you played it, it was 5 mana, deal 3 damage to all enemies, that itself is barely playable. There's better ways to control the board. Deal more damage for less mana to the board, like Dreadlich Tamsin, for example, which is just better way to control the board. There's better ways to deal damage to your opponent's face. And for 5 mana, it's just a big investment on turn 5 to do not so much for you. Um, you know, if you have a ton of Fel spells in your deck, that could be something. But I just don't think this is really doing enough for you for 5 mana. So there's other Fel spells that are kind of decent, but there's no guarantee way you're going to draw that Fel spell with this. So what if it's just 5 damage and 5 mana to deal 2 damage, and then it's really underwhelming. If just like how Lightning Storm before it got buffed was either 2 or 3 damage, and you really need it to be 3, but it only gives you 2. It's a huge waste, and we're looking at the same situation here. You can't count on it being 3. There's no way to guarantee it will be 3, and 2 damage to everything for 5 mana just sucks. So I don't like this card, and I don't think it's going to get much action. But as far as interesting card, which I do like a lot, and the theory crafting is already turning for me, is Tamsin's Phylactery. So this is the other Warlock legendary. It's a legendary spell for 4, and you discover a friendly death rattle minion that died, and you give all of your minions that death rattle. So just the straight up value and utility of this is excellent. So it's really easy now with imps in standard, whether it's Demonic Circle or the new imp card that when you trade it you get more imps, so you're looking at 4 or 6 imps for 2 mana that are 1/1s, and then this is for 4 mana, so you can play a cheap imp generator and then give all of them a solid death rattle that you can discover. So it's not random, it's a death rattle that you already played this game, so it's going to be a good one, and you give it to all your minions. So obviously if you have death rattles like Leper Gnome and Kobold Sand Trooper that you can get going that deal damage to your opponent, that's great. Death rattles that summon minions, there's a bunch of those, so you can get a whole wide board of minions that just die into an even wider board of minions. The potential is really endless, and obviously in Wild you have some unbelievable plays that you can set up with Sylvanas and 1-turn kills with Leper Gnomes and like all kinds of crazy stuff. So I think we're going to see a lot of this card. It's just a really cool design that just really speaks to value, combos, so many different ways to use this card, and I'm excited to see. I'm excited to see what I'm going to do with it. Since I'm getting a lot of love with the 0 mana Warlock. You throw a Leper Gnome in there, and now all of a sudden you have an unbeatable board. So I'm excited. Let me know what you think of this new pool of cards. Please leave some respectful comments below. Don't forget to like the videos and subscribe to the channel. Happy Hanukkah, and tune in next time.